Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 241st One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice, here on Tuesday, September 27th, 2022. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host today, once again in these weekly series of workshops. And I've had the pleasure of having Mark and Elias as co-hosts as well today. Thank you very much. And I think we're ready to begin today's lovely workshop. Here we go.
I guess that's me. I'm Diane. I'm a knowledge seeker. I just want to tell a story about my friend when she passed away. Well, okay, I'm going to tell you the background. We were 15, she was 16, and it was the 70s. So, of course, it was Friday night, and we went out and partied. And I last saw her, she was leaving at the party out in the bush. She was leaving with a friend to go and get more beer, whatever. And I didn't see her again that night. And I went home and I fell asleep. And I woke up, or like something woke me up. Like she was trying to pull, I knew it was her. She was trying to pull me out of my body, like through my feet. Like, I don't know. She was trying to pull me through. She was trying to take me with her. I didn't know she died. She was in a car crash. And it really freaked me out. And of course she died. And then later I got caught in this moment where I was like frozen and I couldn't move again. And like she was trying to pull me out of my body again. Anyway, she died, and I went on, of course, and I had dreams of, like, in my dreams, she would be with us partying, but I knew she was dead. It was really weird. Anyways, thank God I didn't get emotional, but this time that I tell the story, but that's my story. So anyone who doesn't believe there's life after death, there's definitely something. Like, anyways, I wrote a poem later after maybe a year, I don't know, remember, and it's called Free to Try, free to express and live the expressions of a curious child. Mama let me run wild, free to experience and live the experiences of a serious child. Father took me aside, said, baby, don't fly. Woe became I, still I tried. Then man came along and played Lady Let Me Drive in a song that took me for a ride. But the woe and I, free to express and live the expressions of a curious child, I ran the other mile. Free to experience and live the experiences of a serious child, I found the other side. But the woe and I remained inside. Then God came along, said, child, fly, but let me be your sky. Freed from woe, thought I, but child, still learning to fly. Sometimes she still runs wild. Okay, well, thank God I didn't get emotional, but that's my story and that's my poem. And I was asked to read the beginning, saying, through the beauty of the soul of diversity, of the languages spoken on planet Earth, all souls are as equal and all are as creators, as they are created in the image of the Creator. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening. Okay, I'm out. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Diane. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much, my beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the beauty, as life never ends, my dear. And welcome, my dear beautiful souls, my dear beautiful souls, to the beautiful energy, in the beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, in the beautiful energy of knowledge seekers and truth seekers of Keshe Foundation family. And welcome to the beautiful energy of the universal soul, as we are all like that. As Diane said, life is always there. We have to understand. So thank you, my dear. Thank you so much for sharing, and welcome welcome. Thank you. Salam, namaste, salute. Welcome to the One Planet, One Race, One Nation for Justice and World Peace. Justice, my dear one. Thank you. Here's the wish. There is, I apologize, there is noise. There is the wish. Mark, can you read the wish? I welcome you.
Sure.
Hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Sure. These are wishes that are created by the Universal Council, and they're working through their souls to solve the problems that they see manifested in the matter state, and create the solution and have it manifest through the fields, actually, and to come to fruition. So the Universal Council will be working this way more and more, I think, on a very regular basis. And this is one of the wishes for today. We, the Universal Council, wish for the elevation of all souls on this planet and the Unicos. And of course, every device, Mr. Keshe, or system he puts together, even though we don't realize it, for example, one of the least expensive items in the store is the butterfly. And it was talked about of putting them on your phones, putting them on the computers to catch the electromagnetic fields that seem to interfere or cause health problems. But Mr. Keshe said, you all missed it. This is a soul elevator. And so all the systems Mr. Keshe creates and our enhancement also will lead to the elevation of all souls on this planet, and basically to walk away from war and killing and devastation that we've all been so accustomed to and hardened to that it almost appears as if there's no problem with it, or we accept it as a normal function of our life. But we're being brought up through the elevation of the souls, the system in lengths, the extension of the system to satellites, to actually encircle this planet with the fields of elevation, the fields of Mitra, to create this new man or this new soul in a way that doesn't think about many of the things that we've contributed to, participated in, and been part of in the past. So we're moving forward in a beautiful dimension, and when the soul becomes elevated, many of the other problems seem to just disappear. And we know that through the diseases and conditions people have, that when you energize the soul, many of these conditions just seem to disappear. So this is the way the Universal Council is working. I know they'll be supported through the satellite system as well, but I think it's a beautiful way to work, because working in the matter state takes a lot of energy and it's very hard. Working through the plasma fields is much easier and it doesn't take a lot of work. So thank you, Universal Council, and we support your work.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you, Universal Soul. Thank you so much for your beautiful words, my dear, always. And we are all present, always. Thank you. Rick, can we go to the next slide? Here is the 1 minute of silence, as we have been through the wishes, always we do, and the elevation is going on, and it will be forever, as there is a need of this elevation always, as creation is also always forever. So here we are creating the space of elevated souls to understand, to elevate more, I will say more, and understand the beauty and totality they are in. So here is 1 minute of silence for the elevation of all souls in all love. Well, the soul of the 5+1 peace negotiators, as this is triggering more and more day by day, and the manifestation is going to come. Any melodrama is is happening is a concern, but for me, or for so much many is not so much noticeable in a way. So the soul of the IAEA and the souls of souls, those are those who are working for peace in Vienna, those who are working for peace in Vienna, and also those who are present in this peace with all that is love, the soul of humanity, the souls and of the world leaders and the religious leaders of the planet Earth. This time they have to elevate anyhow, anyway. So here starts the 1 minute, my dear beautiful souls. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear beautiful souls, for being present in the courage and love of all, on behalf of all. Thank you so much. And well, I will say, from yawns we have noticed, and we created from inside that fear of losing this noticeable thing, the matter that doesn't matter, many, many ways. So this is the way the understanding begins, that fear is about losing everything. But if we understand this knowledge and in this beauty and totality in peace, then we understand that we have to let go of the level of energies we don't need anymore. And then we see clearly that I am present. We need what we need. We need love. We need to be kind. We need to be, in a way, all that is love. Understand the love. Thank you. Love is all a kindness, a courage that is, in a way, in this beauty and totality, is love, my dear. So I will say, notice the love that is noticeable now. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. Rick, can you we go to the next slide? Here.
Hello, everyone.
Oh,
Hello, Shweta.
hello, my dear. Hello, salam, namaste. Welcome. Welcome.
So this is my part. I put a link in the chat right now. I would like to ask you, Rick, to put it on live stream too. It's not the meaning that we listen to it now, but I ask you deeply to listen to this experience we had on the 27th of July this year in the plasma reactor group with the connection and the mobile system.
Yeah, normally I need to have the original video instead of Rumble. So I don't know if we're allowed to play the Rumble version. I don't know if they allow that.
Okay. Elias, maybe
I think I have it.
that.
Let's see if I have it too.
Because it was last Saturday, we had a meeting as a UC member group, and we did listen to it the whole time. It is more than an hour, so it is too much to do it here now. But the experience of being connected soul by soul, and the working of it is so important that I really like to ask you to take your moment, put on your headset, and re-listen or listen to it, because it really shows how we are and we can connect together. This training we did, it touches the soul. And I think it's very important for the experiences that for what is to come, that we become ready as a universal council. Last week, I visited my mom in Holland, and a friend asked if we could visit a palace of the royal Dutch family. And I said, okay, it's okay. I would not go there for myself, but why not? It's a part of the history. It's my history too. So we went there, and I have to say, if you're in front of such a building with hundreds of rooms, and you have the possibility to go inside, first we went on the roof to have an overview over the garden and the place where it is built. It is enormous. And I told to my friend, it is, but what is the price? How did such a thing was built? On how many lives such buildings and places are built? And also we have to face that that is a part of us. When we are growing up there, we are part of that. And inside all these gold and silver and all these paintings they made from themselves, so that everyone 100 or 200 years later still knows that they were there. It is in the physicality maybe important, but on the soul level, I was there, I was standing in the middle of this building, and I felt, give your love, give your energy, don't judge about it, don't change it. Everyone has to go his own way, but we are now on a point wherever we go, we leave our love and light as a spur behind us. And with this, we can also be in a group or be with other people together, elevate them, and don't be afraid or scared, because those souls who are open, they will take. And those who are not, Mr. Keshe says, leave them. When I asked him, what do we do with those who do not accept? I had several conversations. Some people are open for it, some people are not. They only need more time. And they have the right to choose to take their own path, which they ever want. So the most important thing is that wherever you go, wherever you have the feeling, please elevate the environment, elevate the people who are there. Because as a satellite soul, we have a kind of a proxy function. We are in between, we connect, and we organize the communication. We let through the love and the light. And with that, the other people will get elevated too, and they also will start spreading. And this way, if we do it all together, we reach our goal. And that is to bring peace on earth. And as we know, this time it will not only be Earth, it will be the universe, the unicos. This time it is the total. So please, I ask you to take your time and listen to it again. Let it work, feel what is going on with this communication, and know that this is the base, the fundament that we are working on as a universal community. Are there any questions?
I've got the original video ready to play here. If you'd like to play that excerpt.
No, the problem is that it takes too long. So we discussed it, and we decided not to play it because it takes too much time. So please, people, take the link, copy it, put it somewhere where you can fix it, and then listen to it a later time.
Okay, that sounds good.
Shweta? Or is there someone with question or additional information? Because we're all in it. It's not only one, or it's not us, or it's not us alone. It is us together who do this way. Okay, then you can go to the next slide.
Thank you, my dear Jaco. Thank you for your beautiful, beautiful presentation and information, as you always do. Salam, namaste, salute, my dear. And this is the One City, One Center. And if Stefania, I welcome you if you are available, my dear. The city calls you. My dear, can you hear me? Maybe she is not able to open the microphone. Hello, Stefania. Is she here? Rick? Hello? Rick, can you hear me?
She's on the list, but her microphone is closed.
Here.
Okay. Well, yes.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, my dear. Welcome.
Yes, yeah, welcome. Sorry, I didn't hear before, but I heard my name. I didn't hear. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You want me to speak about One City, One Center?
Yes.
Yes. As you can see on the picture, there is the email of Cell KF Global for who would like to become distributor for the knowledge seekers. They would like to become a distributor so they can help to spread the technology better. Sorry, I'm in a wind situation, so I don't know if you can hear the wind. I hope you can hear me properly. Yes.
We hear you.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, you have the announcement system and the flying system. So now, like Mark was said, we got the satellite knowledge seeker. They will, or anyone who feel like they should do this in as work. So if you feel like you are a person who would like to be a satellite, so you can go into the Keshe Foundation website and apply to become a satellite. And this will be really great contribution because we can all together make like an energy grid to make the change. Yes, so on the last workshop, Mr. Keshe spoke about that he will go very soon to pay visit in Romania or in England, and to see if they can speak with the knowledge seeker there on the place. Maybe they're active, and I thought, what a great idea, because definitely what I notice now. People are really working on building a new future, and hopefully with all our skills we can get together and we can combine our knowledge with adding plasma technology, and then together created this new way of living. So for me at the moment, I feel strong to focus on the future and make weakness into strength and create a new way of living. In this way, it will not be a problem. In this way, it will not be a problem. What's happening around us, because we will be focusing now on the youth. And with the plasma technology, definitely we can provide a different solution for different problematic. Like, for example, the gas or shortage of fuel, a lot of stuff that people get worried now, or shortage of food. Plasma technology can be used for really cover the needs, most of the needs of people. And then once they're covered, we can start to evolve and enjoy our as it should be, with no struggle. Yeah, so I already spoke, for example, with the Italian community, and definitely we're hoping to use our skill to combine with the plasma technology to expand faster this knowledge, to improve our life. Yes. So I really look forward for the future. So I think this is my talk about the One City, One Center. Definitely together we can be stronger. For example, I make example, as I was talking in the Italian group, some people said, but you know, because some people who are good with the MAGRAPH, they study in the MAGRAPH, spending time to experiment with the MAGRAPH. Completely reduction of fuel, and reduction from all, he had reduction fuel time to all of us to collaborate as much as we can. So who maybe is behind with testing or applying different tools? Maybe somebody else is already found results, so we can definitely use the knowledge of each other to help each other, especially for this winter. That Mr. Keshe always said that you know, we have to get prepared. Doesn't mean it's gonna be hard, but in case it's hard, we're prepared. So okay, thank you.
Thank you, my dear Stefania, for sharing your beautiful words. And I will say these cities of oneness are really, really full of love, you know. And this, like the villages, when we are used to go in the villages, the tribes, they used to sit together, and they are so advanced in the soul communication. How could it be possible? They didn't need any mechanism, but then it came with them. And these villagers, they don't need the code, they don't need the law. They have their own their own circle of love and light to understand every villager. They understand every villager in their way, and they know the emotional strength of that particular villager, what he needs, and thus everything was so happy until then the parasitic way entered in the life of these villages. So because of the receiving of this way of parasitic living, many things has destroyed even in the villages. But then I will say in these, well, the cities are like, you know, like ancient advanced way of moving, living life, civilization, where the mechanism will always go in the way of peace and love and light. It is always you have to, we all have to lose, or well, we all have to let go the ego. We have to be humble, as my Masaya Shriman M. Keshe said, that we have to be humble in this path of peace. Otherwise, this ego destroys everything when it comes and creates this fear of, well, we know how it is in this evolution worked. And then with this mechanism, as we as anybody, well, there is no customer. There's no customer, there's no buyer, but there is a receiver in kind heart. And in this way, this mechanism will spread. When we, well, if we take this machine's mechanism with you, with the love of all, it will work, my dear. It will work. And if anybody has an ego kind of thing, and all this worldly matters that you don't need, will be painful, you know. And of course, the soul remains, well, I will say, the waters are not there, and the souls notice that. So there is, I will say, be kind, my dear ones, those who have this kind of matter that they can transmute and help humanity, provide humanity what they, in this moment, they need, the love they need, the kindness they need, my dear ones. Be in this humble way, in this path of peace. Receive the mechanism as a gift to you, for all, you know. And this is the way we do in Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, as this is the way the dynamic plasma and the plasma technology works. So thank you, my dear Stefania. And the cities are oneness are really, really, really the center of everything. Anyone can go to the center and come out and have this beautiful knowledge and gifts. So this was this is, and then this money matters no more anymore, you know. So mankind has to be kind, as my massage says. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Salam, namaste, salute, my dear ones. Be in these cities. This is well, I will say, this has to be, we all have to be in these cities or in these communities of love and light, because I will say, in this transformation stage, there is no other way, definitely. And well, we can't accept this suffering and pain anymore, anyway, because we have this mechanism of love. Accept the gifts, my dear. Receive the knowledge. Thank you, my dear one. Thank you. Assalam, namaste, salute. Rick, can we go to the next slide?
I have a.
Oh,
this is Mosek.
yes,
Is this
Mosek.
the right time to do it? What I was planning on doing, perhaps in this context
Perfect.
of the One Nation, in this context of like one city program, to talk about the experience of using plasma technology with cars. Maybe.
Yes. Yeah, brilliant.
Yes, my dear Moshfik. Yes, please, welcome.
So I'm not sure yet, but as I talk, I will be more certain. Maybe I need to draw something at some point, but then I can share through the whiteboard. But for now, let's start and see where we go. So generally, you know, for me, plasma technology is, you know, there is a lot of interesting ideas, and as we all know here, and then the opportunity exists to test out these ideas in various ways. So, you know, one can, you know, long time ago, I think Rick is much more familiar with this area than I am, is they used to do gas reactors. And those things were, before I got really interested in this kind of things. So I didn't do any of those, but I came the nano coating time around that time. So you know, I started playing with it, and the basic idea is to understand more of the fundamental, because, you know, I come from an engineering background, and, you know, and fortunately or unfortunately, I mean, very early on, when I was in school, I realized that some of the theories are not quite, there are sort of like cutting corners, so to speak. Yes, they do work within a certain boundary, but as soon as you reach beyond those boundary things, you have to add something new to sort of do a patchwork on this theory. And but one of the very interesting part about plasma technology, I mean, and this has been there from the very beginning, although it was very difficult to believe the generalized nature of it, because you start with very basic caustic soda and things like that, then you go to soul. I mean, the two are, really far apart in many ways. But the general principle of the magnetic field and how it operates applies at all levels, which is very intriguing in a way. So this is what was intriguing to me, is that yes, the theory is very has depth to it, but the thing is that it's not that the depth is claiming too much. In fact, at the beginning, I had a lot of suspicion about it, but that I do about most things anyway, even our books in engineering. That yes, if it's written there, fine. Somebody wrote it there, but it has to be. One has to be able to understand it and apply it. So in that sense, it was curious because you can apply these things at a very basic level, making a superconductor and testing out that you can do certain specific things, and then play with superconductors and then apply that understanding to healing oneself. So you are crossing boundaries, but the experiment is not necessarily with at the beginning, I didn't do it with my body at all. But you get understanding there, which can be applied to, let's say, healing process. So here I will talk about cars. How I used nano coating and GaNs material. It was very early, so I mean, I did not understand many things, but it was part of my understanding process. So it's these were tools, but it's how it helped my understanding, helped to develop my understanding, which is really the important part. And this is what I approached the whole thing with. Yes, I was interested. I mean, with engineering background, I have some interest in some of these things, and I could do some of those things because of my experience. And so I did make MagRav first, I think. And then I gave it to a family. And then they had some, the atmosphere in the family improved. So that was an interesting indication, but didn't make a big impact on me at that time. But the idea of the nano-coated coils affecting car performance, this I can test easily. So, and I made those coils and put in one of my cars, and yes, I put, I think, a little bit of GaNs, dipped in a little bit of GaNs, and just put them there. And I could tell it was a very low-powered car, And I could tell that the things, the torque is, specifically the torque was noticeably different. And so it was, I didn't measure it in any way, but it felt about 20%, roughly in that range. I could start the car in second gear easily. In fact, this car was, I think, one of the lowest powered car in the US at the time I was in the US. But it was noticeable, and so this was my first experiment, and I did not quite feel anything in terms of whether it was impacting me or anything. So first test was okay. So, but it took like a month or a month and a half. I could feel it after a month, and after a month and a half, I could see that it's reached a point about where it kind of increased the performance. So the basic process here is that these coils, what did these coils on the battery terminals did? It created a plasma flow. And plasma flow across the whole structure of the car. So it was getting plasma nano-coated. And so the plasma nano-coating, that means that the car's body is no longer just material body, but it works at an energetic level, higher energetic level, depending on what field is in the nanomaterial. So, this was a car. I mean, I have at that point, I had owned this car for 25 years, or 25 years, somewhere there. So I liked it. Obviously, I mean, I had bought other cars and sold them, but this one I kept. It was an old Honda Civic. And it's still one of my favorite cars. I mean, of all the cars I have owned and driven other friends' cars. But the thing is that there was a connection from me and the car. So this is something those who are interested in guys or boys, those who are interested in cars, tend to develop mechanical things. And so we can relate to material objects at an energetic level, but once the nano-coating process is happening, it gets easier. Your interaction gets easier. I'll get to it later on, but this was the first bit of thing, is that the car's body is getting nano-coated. Now you see, right at that time, I noticed some of the blemishes are in the car. The car is old; it's an old car, so there were blemishes on the car's body, and they were diminishing. And so this idea that what is, you see in science fiction movies that, spaceship kind of regenerating, fixing itself. So it's the same idea. So that energetically, the material itself has some memory to it, and having the field available, it could readjust it back. And I have used this in other things later on, I'll talk about, but this idea, so this learning process is that there is an effect here, which is that of a memory. And this is a very interesting idea, and it can be applied with many materials. If you want to preserve certain material, nano-coating them or getting them exposed to GANs often help. But you have to pick your GANs in a way that matches the material. So anyway, so this was the next part of the kind of understanding is that there is an effect of regeneration. But it's not, you can't, the car also had bigger dents. They were not getting fixed. Obviously, the range of the field effect is limited. So, in a way, higher energy field, soul level field, or field with higher magnitude of flow. Essentially, you want to increase the power, which is not available to make the necessary correction or access that memory of the material. So I'm kind of using a little bit of a new terminology here, memory. So I will come back to it later. I'm just putting it as a placeholder for now. Because we have a similar situation with skin. I'll briefly mention here skin because our body can make recovery when I get cut or bruises and things like that. But let's say if I have a burn condition of a certain level, the skin recovers, but not completely. So the recovery, that reminded me of the car situation, because the car was recovering, but at a very small things, but small blemishes. But our skin can do better, but not completely in certain situations. If there's a big cut or things like that, it remains. So yes, our skin is better at it, but can it be better than that? So this is so we can recover skin if we can adjust the field in a different way. Maybe the dents I had in my car could be fixed if I can put the right amount of energy, or if that memory, the design of the car's body, is somehow accessible. So anyway, so the skin recovery and the car's body recovery are the same process, but we need further assistance of fields to get it going. So I'll pause for a little bit. The things I'm saying, are they making sense? I hope, I'm using this, it's a very simple language. So this was my first experiment with my first car. And this is the beginning of the story. And the skin part that I just talked about, this came later, but it was that experience with the car that I applied on the skin. And I will give another example of how I applied it. So since the blemishes were recovering, so I thought, what else do I have where I have minor damages or minor blemishes that I can recover with a matching energy? So I use my razor blade as long as I want now, because the blade's edge, when we shave or when we cut something with it, there are very, fine structure there, because you create an edge and the edge gets dull. So if we want to recover the edge, we have to provide the matching energy. So the blade has the energy of iron. So I wanted to find a GaNs which has the same energetic level as iron. That would be our CH3, because we use this galvanized mesh to create it. So I just put these, razor blades in a little bit of GaNs and with water in it, and it just stays good. So this is from the same principle, but applied much later as I developed the understanding from those early experiments. It didn't click then, but it clicked later as I learned more. But I'm just connecting what I learned with my first car and related to later things that I did, with curing burns on skin and things like that, and the razor blade experiment. So I'll stop here for now for today, and maybe talk about this next time, this part 2 of it. But if anybody has any question or anything, I'll try to answer. I will keep it short because, doing it slowly might be easy. It might make it easier to digest. And I'm just also trying to show that it's not that isolated experiment is not just for like making the car better, but it's making me better than the car. Anyway, so hope if there is any question or anything, I can answer. But essentially, this is what I want to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Masvik.
Thank
I
you.
recognized a lot of things you were talking about. For example, the razor blades, I use them for maybe 3/4 of a year. Normally they say after a few weeks you have to throw them away, but you can think them sharp. It functions. I don't know why. I'm sorry for the company that has to deliver, because they would certainly like to deliver more, but it works. And these fields somehow are on the level that they are applicable. The same I had with the skin. I had the burning mark for 15 years. I was in a burning container as a firefighter, and it burned through blankets and all my protection. I was dressed well, like it should be, but still it burned through, and it was about 2 centimeters. And since I used the GaN soap, it disappeared. So this means that the GaNs makes a balance. It applies possibility on cell level to bring the balance that is necessary, we call health. And this is with so many devices, and it's the wonderful part of the technology, and makes one real humble if you think about what is to come. So with the car, it's the same. I had the same experiences. You drive in sports mode, although the efficiency is eco mode, and the car reacts very well and nice, and that's exactly what my experiences is too. So thank you very much for the.
No, I didn't mention the fuel efficiency also improved 20%, which I could measure. And
Yes.
that was also something I didn't mention, but this was my first experiment. So, but anyway, it was just a coil with 6 turns. I remember very well. Not 2 coils actually. That's it. Nothing else. No maggrav. Nothing sophisticated. Mm-hmm. I wanted to understand the basics, and I wanted to keep things simple. That's why I went this route.
Yes, but the principle in the background is the same.
Yes, it is. But but when you are starting out, MAGRAV looks complicated. And GANs, all the principles are actually very simple. Even the soul level things are also very simple. But until it's applied, it looks like magic or strange thing. But now that we know, it's not.
Exactly. It's the science behind it.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, my dear Moshfik. Any question, as Moshfik explained so beautifully, as he enhanced in a way that is so beautiful, Moshfik. The soul part you always talk about. Even you're doing the car, even you're doing this matter state, the GANs or still they are in matter state. But when you say the more I advance when I am doing the car, that is the beautiful thing. As we also enhanced this in this way. This is the soul communication you have always done. Thank you for sharing. Anybody has any question? Please welcome to Moshfik. Yes.
Hello, Marinez. Did you want to say something?
We got it, Rick.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So I'm in vacation, so I cannot talk very much. Thank you.
I would like to ask Mushfak what he meant two coils, because I'm really ignorant with the practical.
What did you say? You got cut off a little bit, so I missed it.
You said two coils. You're using only two coils. What do you mean?
Yes.
Because
two coils
you mean a coil into
coil? No, I created I made 6-turn coils, nano-coated these copper coils, nano-coated these coils and connected them to the battery terminal. That's all I did for this test that I talked about.
Six coil. So okay,
six
so
turns.
not one inside the
two
other.
Coils,
just
six turns.
Six
turn.
two coil. Okay, just two coil. Okay. Okay.
One clockwise.
One inside the other. The coil.
One clockwise, one anti-clockwise.
One inside the other.
No, they're just two separate coils, one on the positive of the battery, one on the negative of the battery. Just creating a flow.
That was a teaching back in, I think, around 2015. And it's part of the everlasting battery concept. And so there's a coil on each of the terminals, and it's part of the introducing the plasma fields to a vehicle through the battery system. Yeah.
And just with this, you had some reduction on consumption of fuel and all these things you talk about.
Yeah, 20% reduction in fuel consumption just by this, nothing else.
Wow.
The important thing, there is another thing to understand, is that the flow of the electricity is creating other kinds of flow within the nano layers of the coils. So, and that's what is nano-coating the car. So this is an important part, because what it also does is that since there is an energetic flow, it has properties of energy. I mean, it has magnetic field of strength other than that material itself. So it's easier for us to link with the device. So in a way, we can talk to the cars easier. And this is something we have to take into account when we do these kind of things, is that, when we use any object, we put our fingerprint or our skin oil on them. So which is a connection to the device with us. So this is something that we don't take into account, but we can communicate with the device. And with nano coding, it gets easier. That's all. And this is something, this is a big part of, I think, the plasma technology, is that materials are no longer materials, they're talking materials, material objects, And once we know how to do it well, everybody will be talking.
Yeah, I think this is very well said, that they're talking material, like people talking with the plants, also the things, like Mr. Keshe said, everything's got a soul. So we start to, with the plasma, we facilitate this interaction of talking with everything and interact with everything.
And certainly,
I think that is part of the new way of being. Yeah.
Certainly, the Italians know about that in their design of cars. They're world-known. Ferrari, for example, and other makes from Italy. Motorcycles as well. And we know about the emotion that the Italians have for their vehicles. And, part of that is you become like one with that machine, and you actually, your sensations and so on, you feel that machine, and it becomes, you're an extension of yourself. And in many ways, it can be a status symbol extension, or it can be when you're actually driving it, you become one with that machine. So that's part of that process of interacting. And when we do raise ourselves to that level of being able to feel that the fields of that machine, that's a different, it puts you in a different position in terms of a driver or someone that's even taking care of that machine.
Hello, this is Dean from Oklahoma, United States. I have a question about the construction of the coil. It is a coil flat, not a spring.
It is they're springs, not flat.
Oh, they are springs, not a coil that is flat.
Yeah.
Okay. And the second question, when I was learning about making the maggrav, at the end of the copper wires, there was a little turn that was put into the wire in order to direct the field back into itself. Was that done in this, or do you have anything to speak on that?
Yes. Yes.
Could you explain that, please?
It's to contain the flow, within the material. So, in plasma, I may have to draw a picture here. Let me see.
Thank you. Picture.
Let me see whether I can explain it.
Do you need a whiteboard?
Yeah, I think whiteboard will be easier, much easier than me talking about this.
Do you want me to create that?
No, I think I can.
You can do that. Okay, good.
Can
Thanks.
you see it now?
Just a minute here. I'm going to have to Get rid of some of my background images.
So can you see the whiteboard now?
Just a sec, yes.
Okay, good. All right. So when you have, let's say, when you have a piece of wire, when you have, so you have a piece of wire, and if there is a flow, whether it's electricity or some sort of field flow within this material, then so there is a flow within this material, and then what happens is that it creates the field in like this around it, much like our spring. So it's the same thing we learn in electrical engineering, the magnetic field and all that, you know, but this type of structure exists. So the field is open-ended. This field that is created is open-ended. But if we do this, let me see. Now we take the wire, we do this. So the spring connects back to itself. It's no longer open-ended and losing energy here. So if I draw the spring on top of it, so oops, wrong color and wrong thickness. So you have this kind of situation. So the field is connecting here. So this, it's not open-ended anymore. So otherwise, you know, in antenna, when you have antenna, you have things coming out. You know, even in radio frequency antennas, you have things coming out. When you do this, things are not coming out, they're contained. That's it. And you know, often antenna design, you have like all kinds of open holes like this kind of design. So everything is radiating in every direction. Here you are containing, it's the opposite of radiating. One is the, so you're holding the field together, that's all.
So you're saying that on the end of the 6-coil spring that you have on the battery terminal, you put a little bend on the end of the spring to
yes,
to contain it. Okay.
Contain it, exactly. So the spring would be like this. If I draw, I'll draw the spring. It would be like,
yeah, I don't want to get confused with the existing spring with 6 turns that we see at the top. It is different.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
it's not the spring that you're talking about on the battery terminal, correct? This is just the field flow.
Yeah.
The blue lines showing the field flow, not the spring.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, this is showing the field flow. So okay. Whenever there is a motion, in the magnetic field, there is always this spring type of effect around the motion. So the maggrav, one of the most intriguing thing about the maggrav is that spring. So when you know, if you think of it in the reverse, if you make a field flow through these blue lines, then there will be a flow in the middle of it too. So you can do the reverse, which is what's done in maggrav. So the maggrav gives us this understanding, and this is important because you can control a lot of things with a spring. So, you have an object. Let's say you have an engine. You want to create an internal field flow within it. Make a spring around it, flat or even spring like the one we are talking about. You will create a field flow within the engine structure. And especially if the engine is nano-coated, you'll get it there. So I'm going to do more car experiment. I'm thinking of it because I'll want to get to the thought control device area a little bit. This is an idea that has been playing in my mind a little bit these days. So this is something I want to do. Simple things, and it can be a good demonstration for people. If you talk about soul things, people get disinterested very quickly. So something intriguing even to kids, young kids who are boys and girls and stuff like that. Things can be interesting there.
Just a point of clarification on this sort of turn back on the spring. Is this the part that's connected to the terminal of the battery, or is that turn back just in the environment, in the air?
Yeah, just the one that's sticking out. One end is sticking out, one end is connected. The one that the end that is sticking out is the one where the loop is.
Thank you.
Can you draw it?
Okay, let me erase everything here and then draw it. Otherwise, I'm confused. So it was like this. And the other one was the opposite of it. I like this. The counterclockwise one goes on the negative. The clockwise one goes on the positive. Entry and exit. I put a little bit of GANs, which wasn't necessary, but this was like the CO2 GANs. I wouldn't do it that way now, but that was the first test. So. CH3 GANs would be better in my opinion.
Another question, we many ways to nano. What was the type of nano coating you used on these copper springs?
Caustic.
Thank you.
Caustic. And that's all. And it was a very easy thing to do, and now it looks very easy. But 20% efficiency, it's like it's not insignificant. Anyway, let's stop here, and I'll come back next time with some more of my thoughts and experiments.
So the part that took some physical energy is just making the coils, but once they're attached, the plasma then goes to work, or the fields go to work, and you're not physically having to do anything other than maybe with your emotions.
I wasn't, when I did this experiment, I wasn't concerned about emotion, soul, or any of those things. It was a very a standard science experiment. But having said that, did my connection with the car help? Certainly did. But at that time, it wasn't, as you say, it wasn't part of the experiment. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
One of the things I remember in the time that this was originally presented was that sometimes, because of the computer control of the fuel, that the fuel economy did not go down, but that the power and the handling of the vehicle was different. That's just what I remember from when the teaching was first done.
Yes, I've heard that too. And this was an old car, 89. So there was no problem. I have tried, the latest car I have tried was made in the early 2000s, not late 2000, 2009 or somewhere there. And that was the only car. After, I haven't done anything more modern than that. No, I have done more. 2011. Yeah, the most modern car I've done is 2011, 12, around that. But in all of those, it worked. And so I've done, so yeah. The older fuel injection system, electronic fuel injection system, which are driven by microprocessors too. But the new metering system, the fuel injections, they have a very set pattern, and they only deliver what they are programmed to deliver. Certain ones, I don't know whether it's true for all manufacturers. So anyway.
Thank you so much, my dear Moshfik, for presenting this beauty, as you always do. And this is, anybody else have any question? This is a very beautiful presentation. You know, as Mark was saying, simply the coils, even in the 6 turns, Moshfik has created that communication. As we had dreamed years ago that the communication should be like soul to soul, you know, as Moshfik has done in a way that he enhanced himself also in this way. It has been with all of us, you know, as we are making these scans and nano coating every time these copper coils, understanding how to do it, and we enhanced in a way, connected more to the soul of this form. You know, any form has a soul, and we, as in physicality, we see these remotes and all connecting without, and we are so amazed. But now we understand that even we, without any connection, even a remote, we can understand the communication of the soul. As sometimes we have seen films like, you know, talking with a car, car is answering like a person. That is a beauty, you know. Well, even the person is taking care of the car and brushing it gently, kind of that, you know. So here I can say that more and more we are going forward with this knowledge. The communication is going more, and in this way, this we can understand the soul of every form we create. So thank you, my dear Moshfik. You are always so inspiring. Thank you. Thank you so
One more
much.
thing to add
Yes.
here, after just what I just spoke, I realized that, hopefully it may improve the relationship between women and men, because the women can now understand why men are so obsessed with cars and mechanical alloys.
Yes. Really, really. True. Of this physicality, of course, indeed. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. The relationship of love. Yes, of course. In a manifestation of a woman and a man. Thank you. Thank you, my dear Moshfik. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. So we can go to the next slide. If there's any question anybody wants to ask, or okay. Here is the my dear Rick. Can we play a clip from Elias will give you the link of Ed Weatherall about I will read the 1 minute. Can we play the video by Ed titled "The Privilege of Becoming a Satellite Soul"? It is about 4 minutes long. Can
Yes.
we? Oh, thank you, my dear.
There is a huge burden on you who became satellites. Try to understand that with what happened in Linz this week, and with the first test, we have set a precedence for the whole change of the structure. Your child cries, he doesn't talk. You reach his soul, you understand where the pain is. You have a mentally handicapped child. You want to know how you can bring the change. You reach the soul. Does the physicality matter? Those of you who are beautiful people will come to understand, to see all the members of the family within the one physical structure. We shall see from what we saw this week, end of what I call, or the beginning to an end of the knowledge of what we build and nourish as prisons. We see an end to addiction. We see an end to criminality, and we see an end to kingship. We see the beginning of how we transmute people's soul, elevate them, nourish them, and like a dream you had, return back to them. What we saw this week in this, without a doubt, will bring massive changes to many of us. And as a head of the Keshe Foundation, and responsible for setting up the one race planet that I agreed before I arrived here, will endeavor to bring that as fast as possible to be applicable. That it brings a positive change. The world is going through a position of mayhem, not knowing uncertainty, and this uncertainty is creating more problems in the coming months and years, and we are here to use it to change the course for peace. We are not standing for elections, we are not standing to interfere with powers. We elevate the soul of the man in a very massive way. Now there are physical systems, and it can be shown, and it will be developed for all levels of understanding. This process of transmutation of the soul and transmutation of soul of physicality, which is confirmed this week, will bring us many, many changes. Will bring us amazing amount of changes. I hope, as human race, as knowledge seekers, you understand what you have entered into and what you have brought to be, and what is about to come, and how much change it will come and bring for all of us.
Thank you, my dear Rick, for playing the video. Thank you, my dear Ed. Thank you so much for editing and giving us this clip. And we simply to access. This is a work you always do. Thank you, my dear Ed. Beautiful. And I will say that here, are we not becoming satellites? Like my Masa said, that when we don't see the physicality of this planet, we see the galaxy full of stars, communicating, twinkling, shining. So here is, as because we are spreading our souls, and this is the call to the knowledge seekers, my dear beautiful souls, call to the knowledge seekers, to let together create the peace dome all over the planet. Use the plasma waters from your cups of life 1 and 2. Make the plasmatic spraying. Sing and dance, my dear. Spray, sing and dance with your soul spread. And this is what we are all becoming, a kind of, satellites, a beautiful satellites, twinkling, shining. So here, and it is on Sunday at 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. CEST time. And you are all welcome to the spraying of soul. So the satellite, this is not coincidence. This is to happen. Has to happen. So we all have to be knowledgeable in this way, so that we can be the vehicle of our own, the pilot of our own, like that, and lead the space of the spaceship as we are, to become communicators, to help others. So here, anybody wants to say anything about this spraying of the dome of peace, spraying to become a satellite? Welcome, my dear beautiful souls. Welcome. Is there anything to share, my dear Rick?
I only had one question in YouTube of where did you place the coils? And I'm replying, the coils are placed on top of the battery posts, clockwise to positive and counterclockwise to negative.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Thank you for asking. And thank you, beautiful soul. And I also say to you that when you create this battery, this physicality of beauty and totality, be in peace, be in this beauty always, and understand the soul communication as we do in a way always. in the emotion of I am present. But this is also important when you are creating this battery. Well, I will say battery. So thank you, for dear one. Rick, can we move to the next slide, if possible, if there is no question or sharing? Here's the Mehran, and as we are all becoming or became or are we always a Mehran. So we are kind to each other. So I will say, if there is a sharing, everybody is welcome here to share their their part of story, how they merged into this knowledge, Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. How do they evolve in this knowledge? There is a sharing from your side. Please do. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Welcome, my dear beautiful souls.
Well, there's a comment in the chat here from Geraldo. Says, thank you very much, Rick, and all the souls present. I wish you, with all my soul, a life full of love and peace. God bless everyone, and especially Lord Keshe, because without him, none of this would have been possible.
I am present, my dear. I am present in your wish, beautiful wish. Thank you. Well,
I have one more question. With the battery, and I expanded that into electric fence. And if the coils are put within a battery on the positive and the negative with the nano-coated coils, I believe it would set up a field through an electric fence around an entire property using the same thing that happens in the fields with a car, which means that you could cover incredibly large areas of space at one time through the fields.
Sounds like an excellent field experiment, so to speak. You're right there on the ground level, again, so to speak, and you have a good opportunity to do that. Perhaps you can try that, Dean, and get back to us on any effects that
I'd have to have
or cattle may have noticed, people or animals may have noticed. Sorry, go ahead. I can't hear you, Dean.
I have to put up an electric fence in order to test it, but it just...
I thought you had one there. Okay.
No, I'm in the country, but I don't have one. I don't need one for my chickens.
Mm-hmm.
thank you, Dean. Thank you, my dear, for sharing. And anybody else want to share anything more? I mean, welcome. Welcome, my dear beautiful soul.
Well, there was... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to add, and it's just my understanding that Mr. Keshe had indicated with this method, using the magrev or these coils and things, or GANS water in the gas tank, you start to create a nano-coated car, as Masfek had indicated. So the idea of saving or increasing the gas mileage 20% and so on is because in that process, the car, the motor, the high revs of the motor and so on are causing a nano-coating process to happen. And the car is actually getting lighter. It's losing weight. So therefore, the handling is better. The brakes probably last longer, or it stops a little quicker, because now you're handling a much lighter object. takes the bumps a little softer. This is what I've noticed. Just thought I'd share that so people are wondering what is actually going on here. And I think that is what's actually going on here.
This is one part of it, but one of the things that happens as well is the engine's combustion chamber. It gets, the burning process itself creates nanocoating. And then together with the plasma nanocoating, and you improve the combustion efficiency as well. So this I haven't done, but some other people have done with the car, is that you can put GaNs in the intake manifold of a car, and which transfers the energy in the air that goes into the car for the combustion. And it further enhances the combustion process and increases fuel efficiency, which I haven't done. But this, as I was talking with someone in somewhere, I don't remember, it's been a while. So in addition to the weight loss, there is the combustion efficiency that goes up in the process. And there are several, GaNs field flow you can create to even create a ball of energy within the combustion chamber after the nanocoating process. So this is something to try, but this is in time. We may have time to do it, or we may just do other things with our soul, but nevertheless, something to bring up.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Moshfik. Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words, beautiful words. Anybody else want to share anything or ask anything about Mehran?
Hey, Rick, maybe Rick, I have since Rick knows a lot about these things, do I need to explain intake manifold and all that a little bit or not? Or should I draw it or what? What do you think?
Well, you're getting into some technical details of cars, and you run the risk that even if you try to explain it, people shut their brains off anyway, I noticed. Because only the technical people will follow the technical diagrams and the explanations. But I don't know if we need to get into the details that much, but suffice to say, it's a part of the engine, on top of the engine, and if you need to know, then you can look it up and find out more information. Perhaps you should consult your mechanic regarding sticking anything in the intake manifold or drilling any holes in and that kind of thing.
Or perhaps
no drilling, but outside, just you can wrap a towel even.
I was going to say,
perhaps.
Go
ahead.
Perhaps you want to open it up a little bit more in the Keshe Plasma Reactor group, which is going to appear at 7 AM CEST. They want
sure.
That's
a really good place for the engineering details, let's say, of the plasma technology. This is more of the soul-based aspect, and there's, still lots we need to explain about that and show in this group. So we have many topics to cover, and sometimes the technical stuff is better off in the Knowledge Seekers workshop, or the Keshe Plasma Reactor group is an excellent place for that.
Rick, I could add, if you've ever worked with a Joe cell, you don't even have to have a hole in your manifold.
Well, now you have to explain the Joe cell and the manifold, John. So now we're in double trouble, and it's even more technical, and it's not related to the soul teaching at all.
Well, it is in a way, but we could see that in the Reactor Rick group.
Yeah, And we've talked about the Joe cell recently in terms of Neil Howe had some connection, I think. Yeah, he knew Joe. But that gets into a whole other story, which has been told before, and we can tell it again, certainly. And again, the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, we touch on many topics like that. So people are invited to check that out, and you're welcome to bring any questions under the rainbow, pretty much, that we can deal with in a plasmatic way. Okay, what else do we have for Mojan here?
Yes, the Mojan is, when we are children, when we drive the cycle, the new three wheel cycle, and we sit, 2 or 3 of the friends sit in the back, and we make the cycle a car, and we make noises from the mouth, vroom, vroom, and woo, the cycle goes. In this way, this feeling of being in a car, and all the children are sitting on this cycle, and we're cycling, paddling the cycle all over the area where we used to live, and 2 of my friends they are also small at that time, sitting on my back, and we are vroom vroom going with the cycle. We are even cycling, we forgot that we are cycling, and it becomes a car, and the car is going on. So this is the way, when we are really, well, I will say innocent kind of that, we were in this knowledge, we were starting to understand the way we can transform ourselves to understand the condition, to be in the condition. So this is the beauty always we have to create. If we go, well, of course, matter is very necessary. Physicality is necessary, and as manifestation is necessary. But as Moshfegh said, the soul connection makes us more in beauty and totality, more in the strength, feel strength, And we understood that when we were growing up. Well, then we lost in this variability, in this matter and all. But then again, we came to be a child, Here when even we are not much younger anymore, but we feel this youngness inside us, always being jumping in, and so much happiness comes, at instance. Happiness comes, and we just start to do work, as Moshfegh was describing this coil. I was thinking, that was so simple. I have made the coil more complex. That was so simple. I can do that. That is the satisfaction. That is the happiness we can access anytime, And this is the way, the simplicity of this knowledge is delivered in a way. So I will say that from long time, Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute is in this position to deliver this knowledge always to all of us in all love. And we have received this happiness so much. That was never before. The happiness was, we didn't understood that was happiness. Even we were with many things. So where is the happiness? The thing's gone, the happiness is also gone. How that has happened? But here, in this simple knowledge, we have always the happiness. Always we nourish this happiness. We are able to do that. That strength has came, Here in India, we say Shakti, the strength, full of strength. So driving a car in a way is so much easy like that. And of course, understanding the communication. So here I wanted to share. It's my way of thinking about the cars we drove when we were child, even we were cycling a cycle. So this is the way the plasma works in all love. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you, Moshfik. Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. Salam, namaste, salute. My dear, if there is no question then or any sharing, then we can go to the next slide. Yes, here, beautiful souls. Well, I will not say bring the needs. Welcome, my dear ones. Say what you need to say. Bring or say the wishes from your heart and soul. Communicate as one planet, one nation, one race for justice and world peace. Welcome, my dear ones. Share the beauty you were in. You started, you merge in this oneness. Share, you want to share, please do. Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome. My dear Rick, is there no sharing? No question?
You would think with all the conflicts that are going on in the planet right now, there would be someone that would like to bring the needs and wishes, but people seem satisfied at this moment, at least our viewers here, our listeners.
Yes, I think so. And you know, when this silence, the moment of silence goes on, we understand that every soul is trying to understand each other. The boundaries are breaking down, and there will be no boundaries anymore. So the oneness is so clear now. And I will say, this is the power from, I will say, the strength from inside. Something Lissy has wished for. Yes, thank you, my dear. Lissy Geraldo has a wish. I will read it. Our wish is that the member countries of Grand Magistral Council in Sofia, Bulgaria, accept the invitation presented by the UC in this event and open the doors to plasma technology in exchange for peace. Let us raise the soul of thus governantes. We are present. Thank you, Lissy. Thank you. We are present. This is what we want to say. Never underestimate even the silence, even the strength within you. You know, even somebody was talking about that you are a fragile person and you can't do anything and you need help. You know, but yes, this is true. We always needed a help, but nobody is so fragile. When we say in the soul communication, nothing is fragile. It is always the strength. A small story, if there is time. Yes, a very small story I will share about the Emperor Akbar and his courtesan Birbal, very wise man, very beautiful and lovely emperor. And one day, what happened is, because of the emperor is always surrounded with good and bad courtesans, ministers. I will say the bad ministers, the corrupt ministers. What they show, one day they came up because Birbal was always doing good for good wishes and wisdom to the Emperor Akbar. So other courtesans are very jealous of Birbal, that why the emperor is always listening to him. Why not us? Because there is always in this physicality there is yin and yang. So this person, these corrupt ministers, said to the emperor, why don't you listen to us? Why can't you declare in the kingdom that a person who will stand in this there was a pond, there was a lake, kind of small lake, and very cold lake, very cold. And they declared they wanted for the emperor to declare that whoever stand in this lake overnight, the emperor will pay the gold and gold coins to him, so that he will never be hungry and poor. So the declaration has gone to the kingdom, and one very fragile, frail type of a person came, and he said that, Emperor, my beloved emperor, can I stand overnight? And the courtesan who were declared this declaration, all were laughing. This man, poor man, hungry man, he cannot stand 5 minutes. And okay, they will laugh and say, let's play. And the emperor gave him this declaration that you can stand if you want to, but be careful. You are so fragile and weak. The person said, it's okay, emperor. I am hungry. My family is hungry. I can stand for them. I can feed them with this. And then he has gone to the lake, in the middle of the lake, because the lake was shallow in a way, but very cold. But he stand in the middle, and he was just shivering, but he was standing. And then the morning came, he was all right. And he came out of the lake and asked the emperor, my dear emperor, I have stand all the night in this cold lake. Can I have the prize money? And the emperor was standing to give him oh, brave man, you have stand, so much courage you have. This is your, as the emperor wanted to stand to give the prize money, the ministers obligated that. Why? Because they said, this man may be standing in the in the lake, but can you see it was 1 kilometer away, a little hut. There was a simple light, candlelight is on, and because of the candlelight, he has gained that heat. He has gained the heat, or absorbed the heat, and because of that heat, he was able to stand. And the man, Akbar, says, okay, that is also, the heat has been, maybe he was like that. He has cheated us. He has been with this heat overnight, and he didn't tell us. Then the emperor said, then you have to go away, my dear. I can't give you the prize. Then the poor man walked away and betrayed and all. And then after that day, his good minister, Birbal, didn't came to the court. There one day he didn't came. The second day, it was almost 2 weeks he didn't came. And the emperor was going impatient, bring him to the court, bring him to the court. When Birbal was not coming to the court, then Akbar said, then I will go to him. What he's doing? Why he's not in the court? Then Akbar, with his courtesan ministers, those who have misguided, gone to the Birbal's house. What they saw is Birbal lighting a lamp in the ground, and there was a pot of food, vegetables, hanging in the roof. And the Akbar said amazingly and stunningly, he was stunned by that. There's a little candle in the ground, and the food is hanging on the roof. They are preparing the food in a pot, the vegetables. So Akbar said, what's up? What is going on, my dear Birbal? Birbal said, I'm cooking, my dear. When the cooking will end, I will come. Akbar laughed. How can you cook like this? This is a small candle, and that you have the pot in the roof. How can it be possible? It is not possible in a way. In the lifetime, you cannot cook that. So, and then Birbal said that, so how can a man from 1 kilometer away from a house with a candlelight can be warm? So it is his own power of of this balance that he created from within himself, that he was able to do as he has to do these services. So this is the strength we all have, and we don't need any help. Okay, sometimes it seems so fragile. We also do that, sometimes we go so weak, like fragile and all that, and we will break down. But then this strength comes from inside, that no, we have to stand, we have to face this will go away. So this is the way we as a Mehran works, and we fulfill all the wish from all over, and we understand how to serve. So we don't need, this is the fire from inside. Fire of love, of course, love for all, for living and life in respect, gratitude. So if there is any sharing, please welcome my dear one. Or if there is no sharing, well, beautiful souls, silence is a sharing also. That is so beautiful. And this is the time to wrap up. Rick, my dear Rick, can we go to the next slide if there is no sharing or any question or advice? Can we go to the next slide? Here we are, the fragile man, but then he understood we are here to serve, not to be served. The Universal Council, thank you so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So swagatam, my beautiful souls, in this oneness of Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, in this oneness of the universal souls, in this oneness of all that is love. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute. See you next time. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Sweta, and all the members of the Universal Council for today's show. Get my background image up here. This has been the 241st One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice. Today on Tuesday, September 27th, 2022. Okay, we look forward to the next public teaching workshop, which is the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group. And that's the place where you can bring your technical questions and topics of all sorts that we can address. And we usually have a cross-section of knowledge seekers who are experienced at the plasma technology, who can answer such questions. And we do welcome newcomers very much, and anyone who would like to participate in finding out more about the plasma technology. Okay, and I believe that we have the TV Galactica. Let me just get that. I think I've got the picture for that. There it is. As far as I know, Marie will be giving the TV Galactica program that we see here. Starts at 11:59 Central European Time, and in Portuguese with simultaneous translation in English. And it's at the TV Galactica YouTube channel and can be found at the TV Galactica Facebook site to access as well.
I think Raf had mentioned last week that the program was starting earlier now. I'm not sure about that. Jefferson, are you aware of it starting earlier now?
Maybe at 11 instead of 11:59, perhaps. Thought they were going to do that at one point.
Okay, just maybe check the site like instead of TV Galactica.
Jefferson says TV Galactic has a new time set at 10 o'clock Central European time. So it's 10, not 12. People can readjust their mindset on that. So it's at 10 p.m. Central European time today, Tuesday. All right. All right. I think that's all we have to
All right.
address right now.
All right, we should start dancing and clapping. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear Rick.
There is one hand up. I think Liliana has her hand up.
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you, Mark. Go ahead, Liliana.
Hola, Rick. ¿Está John por ahí?
I don't think John's here. Do we have any ones that can translate in Spanish?
Yes, I am. Yes, sí, aquí estoy.
Hola,
Okay.
John. Hola, hola a todos. Solamente para hacer la invitación del taller de Jan y John que dejé por ahí en el chat. Los
You're invited to come
horarios.
over to Johnny's teaching this afternoon in a few hours' time. ¿Dentro de cuántas horas?
Empieza a las 11 p.m. CEST.
It starts at 11 at night, CEST. Johnny's talking about Ganses and all his different experiences in agriculture and the domes.
Muchas gracias, John. Gracias, Mark. Gracias, Rick. Gracias a todos.
This is also mentioned in the different chats in Telegram.
Right, we see it there. And let me make sure that gets into the other chats as well. People able to click, our attendees here in the Zoom chat, able to click on links. Some people are saying there's problems clicking on the link unless you're a panelist. And I like to remind people that you should be able to save the chat if needed and get the links out of the chat that way when you save to your hard drive. Okay, put the link into Gianni's teaching. To the other places in our YouTube and live stream. Okay, thank you, Liliana. Is there anything else we should know about?
Yes, gracias, Diana. Gracias for sharing about Gianni, a star, a beautiful star, sparkling. Indeed, thank you.
Rick, tomorrow's soul teaching, is it private or is it public?
Tomorrow being Wednesday?
Yeah, I think that's a private student teaching with Marie. Will be in TV Galactica today. But people are welcome to sign up as a private student with the Keshe Foundation.
Yes, that's one of Marie's private teachings. I see. Okay, anything else? Going once, going twice. All right, we are into our last part of our show, which is our
Dance, dance, and clap.
The dance and clap part. The flight enhancement spaceship unit music version.
Thank you.
And thank you everybody for being here today and sharing. And we look forward to your presence in the next public teaching workshop, if not before then, in some other time and place. All right, bye for now, and thanks everyone.